10 underrated thrillers that I absolutely loved in 2025. Yeah. Hi and welcome back, or welcome to my little corner of the internet where we talk about books, mainly thriller books, and sometimes we talk about travels. And yeah, this is my happy place. And today we are going to talk about, well, I recently did a video on my top 10 thrillers of 2025. I read over 200 thrillers in 2025, so I thought that I would do an underrated thriller list as well. Like, it's hard to call it top 10 because it was a very hard list to do, but these are 10 thriller books that I think are underrated and it's so much more hype. And yeah, let's get through them. I have to start with one of my absolute favorite authors, Charlie Donnelly. Now, Charlie Donnelly, I wouldn't call underrated because I think more and more people are discovering his books, even though I think that so many more people should be discovering his books. But I mainly hear people talk about Guess Again and some, The Girl Who Was Taken, Long Time Gone. But he has so many other books that are brilliant. And I think that Some Choose Darkness deserves so much more love and so much more recognition. It's actually part of a two-part series. The first book is Some Choose Darkness, and the second is The Suicide House. Now, this was so interesting and different, and I love the main character, Rory, who we see again in The Suicide House. So she's quite a key character. She's obviously the main character in this book. And basically, Rory Moore is a forensic reconstructionist, and she sheds light on cold case homicides. She does that by piecing together crime scene details others fail to see. So she's very good at picking out little details. And while she's cleaning out her late father's law office after his burial, she receives a call that plunges her into a decades-old case. In the summer of 1979, 5 Chicago women went missing. The predator, nicknamed the Thief, left no bodies or clues behind, until the police received a package from a mysterious woman named Angela Mitchell, whose unorthodox investigation appeared to unmask the killer. Then Angela disappears without a trace. 40 years later, the thief is about to be paroled for Angela's murder. But the cryptic files Rory finds in her father's law office suggest there is more to the case. Making one startling discovery after another, Rory becomes helplessly entangled in the enigma of Angela Mitchell and what happened to her. If you I love Criminal Minds, and I love seeing how cases are unpicked and the forensic side of things. So if you like that, and if that's your thing, like Mindhunters and Criminal Minds and all these kind of shows, then Some Choose Darkness is definitely for you. It's definitely, I always say, Charlie Donnelly is amazing author. Is my favorite author. It can do no wrong in my eyes. But I would never recommend it as a first thriller because his books are quite not complex, but it's lots of puzzle pieces that are left all around, and then they all come together so perfectly. But I think that if I was reading one of his books as my first ever thriller, maybe that would put me off. I don't know. I mean, not because it's too complicated, but because you have to trust the process. And I think until you've read quite a few thrillers, you might not realize that. So I love his books. He's my absolute favorite author. So I would always recommend it. And I would recommend that you pick up Some Choose Darkness. It doesn't get the recognition it needs. The Suicide House was is not as good, I would say. This is absolutely amazing. But I love both. I've not rated a Charlie Donnelly book anything less than 4 stars. So yeah. I also read most of his books between July and August. I went on a binge. Because I became obsessed. But I will do a ranking of Charlie Dunley's books, and I will do that. I think I might do that next. Yeah, I'll see. But yeah, I love his books. Now, anyways, I ramble. This was the first one. Now, moving on to The Murder List by Jackie Kapler. Now, Jackie is a wonderful human being. She's so kind. I've been lucky to meet her at events, but also she's a brilliant writer, and nobody talks about her books enough. Like, it's just, she's super clever. They're all super easy to digest, super really quick reads, and really gripping. The Murder List is when Mary receives a blank diary as a present, she thinks nothing of it until she opens it and sees it's not blank after all. 1st of January, murder Lisa, Oxford. 1st of February, murder Jane, Birmingham. 1st of March, murder David, Cardiff. 1st of April, murder Mary, Cheltenham. Is this a sick joke? But it's the end of January now, and a woman called Lisa was murdered in Oxford on 1st of January. Could there be a real killer out there planning to commit a new murder each month, and is the Mary due to be killed on the 1st of April her? The clock is ticking to uncover the truth. So I really like this book. I sort of went into it blind. Like, I don't tend to read the blurbs when I pick up books. I just go for like the feel. But I didn't know what to expect, and I really loved it. And I think because of the pace, and because you sort of like counting down like each month to the next potential murder, if there is one, you are wanting to keep going, and the pace is really quick and really fast. And I quite like the main character of Mary, so it definitely made it easier to read. So I would recommend, and I'm definitely going to pick up more of Jackie's books. I've got a few on my shelf. I think I've got The Revenge Plot here, and I'm sure I've got some more. But I'm really excited. I found her writing really nice to read, and I just really got into it. And I'm sure they're on Kindle as well. So if you want to read on Kindle, it's even, it's there. So yeah, let me know if you've read any Jackie Kapler books, because I would love to know which one I should prioritize next. I definitely will be reading more. Staying in the serial killer kind of theme, Still House Lake by Rachel Kane is amazing. Like, it does not get the hype it deserves. I also have, I don't know if you can sort of see back there, all the other books in that series. I've got 2 left to read, and they all deserve the hype. They all deserve to be read. Absolutely brilliant. Still House Lake, so interesting. We follow this woman who comes home one day, and she's driving up to her house, and there's lots of police cars and ambulances and lots of things going on, and she's thinking, oh, something's happening in my neighborhood. And she gets to the house, and she realizes that a car has driven into the garage that's attached to her house, and she's like, oh my god, like, I hope no one's hurt. And she gets to it, and there's a dead body hanging in the garage. And basically her husband was a serial killer, and she didn't know. And basically people think she did know, and hating and abating kind of vibe. So she has to go into hiding, and it's brilliant. Like, Gina Royale is the definition of average, shy Midwestern housewife with a happy marriage and 2 adorable children. But when a car accident reveals her husband's secret life as a serial killer, she must remake herself as Gwen Proctor, the ultimate warrior mom. And she's such a cool character. She's such a powerful person. With her ex now in prison, Gwen has finally found a refuge in a new home on remote Still House Lake. Though still the target of stalkers and internet trolls who think she had something to do with her husband's crimes, Gwen dares to think her kids can finally grow up in peace. But just when she's starting to feel at ease in her new identity, a body turns up in the lake, and threatening letters start arriving from an all too familiar address. Gwen Proctor must keep friends and close and enemies at bay to avoid being exposed, or watch her kids fall victim to a killer who takes pleasure in tormenting her. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a brilliant series, and I couldn't put it down. And I think I read like 2 or 3 in like a row because they were just so good. And Gwen is a fabulous character, and I always remember. I always recommend this book to fans of Criminal Minds because it is dark, but it's really interesting. So this one is definitely a must. Now, this is not just one book; it's a whole series. Like, why are people not talking about the Steinbeck and Reed series? Like, book 1 was 5 star, book 2 was 5 star, and book 3 was 5 star. Actually, I think book 3 would be like 6 stars if I could give it 6 stars. But it was brilliant, and it is just not spoken about enough. I love the characters, and they all go sort of like cold kind of cases, and just really, really good. I mean, this one was like creepy as hell, like super creepy. But like, yeah, read these. Like, I mean, I would recommend reading in order. I think you can read them independently, but I would recommend you read them in order because you find out quite a lot about the life and backstories of Evangeline, so Van Reed and Harry Stanbeck. Basically, like for this one, for example, it says, summer 1980, despite the local superstition that the bendy man haunts the woods, 3 girls go into a Minnesota forest. Only one comes out. Dead silent, memory gone, no trace of her friends. The mystery of the taken ones captures the nation. Summer 2022, cold case detective Van Reed and forensic scientist Harry Steinbeck are assigned to a disturbing homicide. A woman buried alive, clutching a heart charm necklace belonging to one of the vanished girls. Van follows her gut. Harry trusts in facts. Their common ground is the need to catch a killer before he kills again. They have something else in common. Each has ties to the original case in ways they're reluctant to share. As Van and Harry connects the crime of the past to the present, Van struggles with memories of her own nightmarish childhood. So yeah, this was creepy. I mean, the evil person, the villain, I should say, is called the Bendy Man. So that tells you a lot. And then this one is called The Reaping. And again, set in Minnesota, family in an Alco, Minnesota, family of 5 was brutally murdered in their sleep. The event shook the insulated community, but without any solid leads, was relegated to cold case files, where it molded for 25 years until today. Harry Stanbeck hoped never to return to the Northland, a place that holds terrible memory of his sister's abduction. So you just get to know more and more and more. So this one was creepy. It was about like a massive murder of a whole entire family, and children start disappearing. It was just creepy. And this one was like people dying, like smiling. So yeah, they're creepy. Yeah. 3 teenage girls are found in central Minnesota, each with her mouth fixed in a ghoulish grin, smiling at a deadly joke no one can hear. But yeah, I mean, I also really love the covers. They're all like, they all go really well together and they're really good. So I would recommend. I think people don't talk about Jess Laurie enough, and this series is just brilliant. So definitely add this one to your list. Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. This one was really quite dark, but really, really good, and also a little bit different because it's told from a point of view of her therapist session. So it's like it's called, actually they're not even called chapters, like they're called sessions. And she's basically, it's Annie, she's been rescued, she's having her therapy session, but she's reliving her abduction and the time she spent abducted. She was a realtor and she got snatched from an open house, and she's sort of living in this, in captivity. And it's quite dark. I mean, there's a lot going on, and I mean, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I think it's one of those books that you do need to sort of go into quite blind. But it was dark, but it was really, really interesting. I feel like I keep saying "but" as well, so I'm so sorry. I'm really annoyed about myself. And it's it was really easy to read, whilst being really dark and really, like, some aspects are quite difficult to read, like some things that she went through. Overall, the way it's delivered and the way it was written makes it like such a digestible read, and I would absolutely recommend. And I will be reading more books by this author. I also really like this cover. I think it looks really good, but I said but again. Yeah, this one is definitely one to add. It's a bit different. Like, I feel like all the other books were based around serial killers. This one is not. So, one to read. The Thinnest Air by Minka Kent. I think Minka Kent as an author is really underrated. I really like her books, and her books are all quite short. So I think they're really good if you're like in a bit of a slump. Like, they're brilliant to just fly through. You can read them in like basically a weekend. They're really, really quick and fast paced with good twists, and I think they're like really underrated. And I think this one is one of my favorites of hers. It's definitely one that I never see mentioned. Like, people talk about the Stillwater Girls by her and on Missing a bit more, but this one just deserves just as much recognition. It's about Meredith Price. She's a lucky woman. She's the luckiest woman alive. Her husband Andrew is a charming and successful financial broker. She has 2 lovely stepchildren and is living in affluence in a mountain resort town. After 3 years of marriage, Meredith's life has become predictable until the day she disappears. Her car has been discovered in a grocery store parking lot, purse and phone undisturbed on the passenger seat. Keys in the ignition, no sign of struggle, and no evidence of foul play. It's as if she vanished into thin air. It's not like Meredith to simply abandon her loved ones, and no one in this town would have reason to harm her. When her desperate sister, Greer, arrives, she must face a disturbing question. What if no one really knows Meredith at all? So yeah, it was really good. It was just good. Like, it's a missing person and rich people slash kind of drama, sister kind of relationship. And yeah, I enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend you put it on your list. All His Pretty Girls by Charlie Cox. Now, this one is a serial killer one again, and you will see a theme. I quite like a serial killer story. And it was really good. It's a whole series, and I can't wait to read the other ones. I haven't read any others yet, but I really love this one. And we follow Detective Alyssa Wyatt. She's investigating. So basically, a woman's found barely alive, and there's been lots of different she's found barely alive, and she sort of starts. And Kelly McCormick is the latest in a string of victims linked to a psychopath who leaves no evidence behind. So Elisa makes a breakthrough in the case. She puts herself in the sight of a brutal maniac because the killer knows Alyssa very well, even if she doesn't know him, and is determined that she'll know his name, even if he has to extract his deadly revenge on everything she loves. So she's chasing a serial killer, and he's chasing her. So yeah, it was really interesting and a bit different to other books I've read. I'm definitely going to read more. It was a really easy read. It was entertaining, and I really like the character of Alyssa. So, The Devil's Code by Michael Wood. This is the second book in this series, in the Dr. Olivia Winter's story. And this book was better than the first one. The first one was still 4-star, and it was really good, and I would highly recommend it. And I think you should read the first one, which I will put a picture here because I can't be bothered to get up and get my copy. But I would highly recommend that you read the first one, because then you can read this one, which was excellent. It was so gripping and so interesting and so dark and quite gruesome at times, but brilliant, like so clever. When the police find a mysterious notebook in the home of a suspected serial killer, they know there will be a case unlike any they've seen before. Contained within the notebook is a chart seemingly made up of random symbols. Unable to decipher them, Dr. D.I. Linus Sutton enlists the help of forensic psychologist Dr. Olivia Winter. Having previously survived attacks from 2 killers, Olivia is the real-life final girl. But can she unlock the code before her luck runs out? Just really good. So creepy. Like, really creepy, but brilliant. So yeah, definitely read Mind of a Murderer before you read this one, because you need to know, I think you need to know Olivia's backstory and her life before you jump into this one. And there's also the 3rd book coming out soon, April, May or June, sometime like that. I pre-ordered my copy. I cannot wait to read it and continue with this series. So yeah, definitely read this one. Again, another one for like fans of Criminal Minds. As you can see, like, I'm sure you've realized by now that I'm quite a big Criminal Mind fan, Mindhunter, all this kind of series. So yeah, if you like these two, you'll most likely like my book recommendations too. Deadline by Steph McGovern. Also, I have a very pretty copy of this book. Really, really good. If you're not from the UK, you might not know who Steph McGovern is, but she's like quite a famous broadcaster here. She's like TV presenter, broadcaster kind of person. So she has this really deep knowledge of broadcasting, and it really shines through. Like, it was really interesting to read the world of TV and news and things like that from behind the scene, because obviously we all watch the news on TV, or well, some of us do, and is different. And I feel like it was really interesting to see the behind the scene. But essentially, going live in 10, 9, 8. Today's a huge day for TV reporter Rose's career. She's interviewing one of the most powerful men in the country on one of the nation's biggest show, 765. But when she hears an unfamiliar voice in her ear, she knows something is very wrong. 432. Her earpiece has been hacked. She's on air in the middle of the interview, and the hijacker tells her they have kidnapped her family. 1. To protect her loved ones, Rose must do exactly what the voice says. The hijacker is in control now. And it's not just about that. Like, there is a whole like side story, like almost like side story to it that was brilliant. Like, the way Steph developed her character, I think was great. There was so much depth, and it was really interesting. And when it all came together, it was such a kind of jaw-dropping. Like, I didn't see it coming. I just didn't. I can't say that I did. Like, I thought, oh, and I tried to guess quite a few things. So I would highly recommend this one. I'll put a picture here of the US cover, because I think it's coming out in the US soon. It's also coming out in paperback in the UK soon. So definitely put this one on your list. And yeah, I mean, beautiful book, great story, really, really clever. Now, last but not least, The Othello Club by J.D. Pennington. This is one of my favorite books of 2025, and it is such an underrated book. It looks like a big book, but trust me, it's not, because the chapters are so short. Like, most chapters are like 1 or 2 pages max, and because of that, I read this in like a weekend, even though it's a lot of pages, because you know, like when you're reading a book and it's like, oh well, just one more chapter, I basically did that with the whole book. And it was really good. It's about the 6 divorces, 1 revenge pact, and an ever-growing pile of dead exes. So the Othello Club is basically a group, like a almost like a support group for divorcees. And so Emily had it all: a dream job, a beautiful home, and an adoring husband, until it all came crashing down. Left feeling heartbroken, she finds herself in a divorce support group, desperate to move on with 5 others who feel her pain. Then, while bonding over their shared betrayal, a wicked idea begins to take shape: a revenge swap. Each divorcee will get each divorcee will get even with someone else's ex. No messy emotion, no direct eyes, nothing life-threatening. Just a bit of harmless disruptions, enough to make their former spouse squirm. Emily isn't sure at first, but as her life unravels further, the temptation grows too strong to resist. After all, no one is supposed to get hurt until someone's ex turns up dead. Then another and another. Now, with a relentless detective closing in and the group's secret cracking wide open, Emily must ask the terrifying question as she signed her ex-husband's dead warrant. Yeah, it was brilliant. And it's also now Paramount Plus TV show, which I've started and is really good. I need to keep going, but as you can see by all the books I read, I just don't really have time to watch much TV. So yeah, definitely recommend this one. It doesn't get enough hype, it doesn't get enough mentions, and I will be shouting this book out so many times because I think it deserves it, and it was really interesting. So yeah, that was, well, it was more than 10 books really, so you got like some bonus ones in there. But if you've made it all this way to the end of the video, then thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate this because I'm still trying to figure out YouTube and still trying to figure out this longer form content. I do feel like I ramble, but it's okay. And so yeah, I really appreciate your support. And if you hit subscribe, I hopefully will bring you even more entertaining videos and some more recommendations. So yeah, thank you. Hit subscribe, don't forget to like this video and comment if you've read any of these books. And yeah, until the next one, have a great day, night, whatever time you're watching this video.